What you're about to hear isn't just a story. It's a curse. The Victorian home at 214 Sycamore Street had stood since 1897, a grand structure with its towering spires and intricate woodwork. But its peeling paint and sagging porch spoke of a much darker history than any neighbor would dare admit. Clara Bennett had purchased the house at auction for its architectural charm, undisturbed by the vague warnings from the realtor about the previous owners who had lived there. At first, the strange happenings were nothing more than oddities, which Clara chalked up to the house's age. She would often find her reading glasses missing from her nightstand, only to later discover them in the refrigerator. Her daughter's homework assignments would be neatly stacked in the attic, even though no one had taken them there. The family would laugh it off as a helpful ghost, until the night Emily, Clara's youngest, woke to find a shimmering figure standing at the foot of her bed. It was not a human shape, but something fractured, like light, passing through broken glass, bending and shifting in strange, unsettling ways. As the weeks went by, the activity intensified. One evening, Clara's brother Mark visited, bringing his golden retriever, Duke. While the family sat in the living room, Duke suddenly began tracking something invisible, his nose following an orb that drifted slowly down the stairs. They watched in stunned silence as the orb seemed to hover in the air before vanishing around the corner. That night, Mark made an unexpected discovery. While poking around the study, he found a loose floorboard. Beneath it was a weathered leather-bound journal, its pages brittle with age. The journal, as it turned out, belonged to Dr. Elias Voss, a physicist who had purchased the home in 1923. His entries detailed his controversial experiments with light and matter, growing increasingly erratic as time went on. The last few pages were chilling. October 17, 1926. The refraction experiment succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. I have isolated a self-sustaining photonic entity. It learns, it adapts. October 29, 1926. It has begun mimicking objects. Yesterday, my pipe. Today, my pocket watch. It studies us like specimens beneath glass. The final entry was written in a shaky hand, and its words sent a cold shiver down their spines. November 1st, 1926. It has learned human form. My wife does not realize the thing standing in our kitchen is not me. God help us all. The journal's last page was followed by an old newspaper article, its edges yellowed with age. It reported the mysterious disappearance of Dr. Voss and a statement from his wife, who claimed that she had seen two versions of her husband living in their home. Clara finished reading the final entry, her heart pounding in her chest. As she closed the journal, a sudden chill filled the room, and the mirror hanging above the fireplace fogged up. But when the mist cleared, it didn't reveal their reflections. It showed a perfect replica of the study behind them. Only one thing was different. Where Clara and her family stood frozen, their mirror counterparts continued to move. Smiling knowingly, they reached toward the glass, their hands pressing against it as if trying to step through. The room seemed to pulse with a terrible energy. Clara gasped and stumbled back, her mind racing. Before anyone could speak, the temperature in the room plummeted even further. The very air around them seemed to thicken, as though something unseen was watching. Clara's heart raced, with fear creeping through her veins. She turned to her family and spoke in a shaky voice. "We have to leave. Now." The next day, Clara put the house up for sale. Within the week, a young couple from out of state purchased the home. They were excited by the house's history and charm, oblivious to the dark presence that lingered within its walls. As the moving truck pulled away, Clara watched from the driveway, her stomach tight with dread. Then, as if on cue, she saw it. The upstairs window, which had once framed the golden autumn leaves, now bore a shimmering, humanoid shape. The figure's surface was ever-changing, constantly shifting, its form never the same for long. Adaptable, learning, mimicking, and Clara knew in that moment that the house's dark history was far from over. The new owners, thrilled with their purchase, never saw the figure that waited in the shadows. It would study them, observe them, and perhaps, if the house had its way, learn from them as well. But the house had been here long before Clara, and it would remain long after her. The figure in the window was just the beginning. Hit subscribe and don't dare miss what's coming next. Or the next scream you hear might be your own.